Hi everyone, it's Emma. Today I'm going to be teaching you the first step in learning how to crochet, and that's chain stitch. Every pattern I've ever used and every stitch I've ever used have either included the stitch or been built off of the stitch. If you learn it, you should have very little or no problems learning the rest of crocheting. The first thing you have to do is to get your right hook and your right yarn. For your first time, I suggest using Red Heart, Super Saver, regular weight yarn. This is because, one, it's fairly cheap, and two, you can use the whole thing learning how to crochet, learning how to just do the chain stitch. Just flip on your favorite show after you think you've got it down and just go through and keep doing it. It'll help you develop muscle memory and make the rest of this a whole lot easier. So, after you've got your yarn, you look for the hook size, and this one, I don't think you can read it, and congrats if you can, but I can't looking at this camera. But it says 5 millimeters or size H down here. And this is a 5 millimeter size H hook, so it works very well with this yarn. I suppose if you wanted to, if you had a certain pattern, you could make one of those big loopy scarves out of a big hook and super thin yarn, but, well, it's just very sloppy to do your first time, and it's also not easy at all. So after you've got your hook and your yarn, you're going to have to make a slip knot. You make a slip knot by taking this yarn and putting a strand of it like behind your finger like this, and then crossing 2 strands in front of it. You have to have the short end that's not attached to this yarn on top. Otherwise your slip knot just kind of falls apart on you. You hold the short end with this finger, and the long end that's still attached is just kind of wrapped around this thumb and then held with these fingers. To make your knot, you put your thumb with your finger through this loop, make it a little wider, and grab the string that you're holding with your thumb. You just pull it through, and there you've got a slip knot. The next part is very easy. It's like threading a big needle with a little thread. You just push it through, and it'll catch on here, and you just pull this the string that's not attached to the ball of yarn, and you tighten it. No, you pull the string that's still attached to the yarn and tighten it. I'm sorry, slip knots are not my forte. You only have to make one a blanket, so I don't get much practice at it. Then you wrap you have your yarn. To do this, you might want to hold this short strand with your pinky just to keep it out of the way. You have your hand, you just put the yarn over this top finger and hold it with the rest. This will keep the yarn fairly tight, and it'll make it easier to use. Next, you hold this short strand between your middle finger and your thumb. You hold your crochet hook like a pencil, and you might want to hold your yarn up close to the knot. And you just take your hook and you wrap it around your yarn, just make a little circle with it, and then your hook will catch right on here, so your yarn will be attached to this hook sort of, and you just pull it through this loop. See, and it comes through and starts making this little chain, and you do it again, just wrap around and pull it through. Wrap around and pull it through. Wrap around and pull it through. Eventually you'll get to a spot where you'll want to move your fingers up, and by that point you should have just like a little 4-stitch chain, and you just wrap it around here and you pull it through. Wrap it around and you pull it through. And again, I suggest doing this till you run out of your whole first skein of yarn, because it helps develop your muscle memory and it makes the rest of your job a whole lot easier. And now you know how to chain crochet.